What are some obvious or outright facts about the human body that you know? If a pregnant woman dies, the baby may be pushed out by gases formed in her body. This phenomenon is called post-mortem childbirth. When studying archaeological excavations, people therefore often mistakenly assume that a woman died due to childbirth. The first cells that develop in a human embryo form the anus. So at some point you were just an asshole. Some people can have orgasms with just their thoughts. This is called a mental orgasm. Such people experience orgasms through breathing, moaning, and imagination. The anus can stretch by 14 centimeters without serious damage, while a raccoon can climb into a hole measuring 6 to 7 centimeters. This way, your ass can fit 2 raccoons and a candy Jolly Rancher. There are particles of human feces almost everywhere. Once, the Legend Busters conducted a test in which they tried to find out if a toothbrush would become cleaner if you put it in the closet. The other rooms also had monitoring devices that weren't supposed to be affected by the poop at all. However, every single instrument showed a positive result. In short, there is nowhere to run. There is no escape anywhere. You can throw up your own feces. Yes, I can do yours too. This is the only time in my life when I regretted that I could read. Guys, the suture on your scrotum is where your vagina would be if you didn't have a Y chromosome. During sexual development, which begins in the womb, the flesh grows together in this place, forming a seam like this. When I was 6 years old, I thought it was lightning. When I was a kid, I thought that when I was very young, I had some kind of surgery that my parents didn't tell me about. Vaginal lubricant is formed mainly from blood plasma, which seeps through the walls of the vagina during arousal, when blood flow increases. It's not for nothing that I've always considered myself a vampire. Ahoy, Captain Redbeard. Externally, the analysis of the sphincter can distinguish and selectively pass air or solid particles, if everything goes as it should. The problem arises when liquids come into play. Humans have the largest penis-to-body ratio of any primate. For reference, technically, King Kong could have fucked the girl he was carrying around the Empire State. If his torso is proportional, then he, a monkey of this size, should have had a penis of about 25 centimeters. The average penis of a gorilla is 6 centimeters, and King Kong is about 7.5 meters tall, which is 4 times higher than the average Western gorilla. I've rounded up the numbers a bit, but that doesn't change the point. When you ride a roller coaster, and it seems to you that your organs are moving, know that they are really moving, because your chest is the only thing that holds them in your body, and the organs move up or down, from where there is a place for them to move at all. When my son was pulled out of me during a cesarean section, I felt my lungs and all my organs begin to spread out, filling the empty space in the abdominal cavity. As it turned out, there's quite a lot of space. If an erection continues for several hours, the blood begins to clot and congeal, which reduces the flow of oxygen to the tissues and can cause ischemia of the penis tissues. If an erection lasts more than 24 hours, the likelihood of erectile dysfunction increases dramatically after this. So 23 hours is the extreme limit. That's how we'll write it down. During an erection, the penis needs about 2 tablespoons of blood. What if I have a small one? Then 2 teaspoons. If you sprinkle sugar on the fallen rectum, it will tighten back up. From the University of Michigan Health System. If you can't pull in the protruding rectum, sprinkle it with granulated sugar and wait for 15 minutes, and then try to pull it back in. The sugar will absorb the excess water, and the intestine will begin to contract. It is necessary to use granulated sugar. A sweetener won't help you. I'm shocked that this is true. I don't know if someone has already mentioned this or not, but the skin tissue of your mouth is the same as inside your vagina. Do whatever you want with this information. That's why people love oral sex so much. The average ejaculation speed of men is 43 kilometers per hour. That's why it's forbidden to ejaculate near school. I think there are more reasons why it is forbidden to ejaculate near a school. You can get rid of hiccups by sticking your finger in your ass and massaging your rectum. Just be careful with raccoons, these bastards bite, and the candy can fall out. I think you're kidding, but the next time my buddy or I have hiccups, I'll try anyway, for the sake of science. Forget it, I tried this theme on my buddy, but I still had hiccups. Almost every hand you've ever shaken has had a penis in it at some point. That's why I get right to the point and squeeze the penis. Girls, check out this topic on your guys. Take him by his left thigh and you will see his left testicle rise. Then take the right one and you will see the right testicle rise. Then take hold of both and both will rise. It's so funny. I saw this joke completely by accident. As far as I understand, this is a reflex, something like a protective mechanism of the testicles. Changed. If you do it to yourself, it won't work. It's like being tickled. Someone else has to touch it. In an enlarged state, the penis can increase by 5 times, but this does not mean that it will become very large. Unfortunately, 5 times 1 will be 5. The foreskin is not just a piece of skin. On its inner side, there is a special mucous membrane, like on the inside of the cheek. And at the tip, there is a group of densely located nerve endings, which is the most sensitive part of the penis. You can use the curdled secretions of a woman's vagina as yeast for making bread. And the penis is, in fact, an enlarged, elongated clitoris. In fact, my penis is more like a small clitoris. Sperm is produced and stored in the testicles, which means that the temperature in the testicles should be lower than inside the body. That is why the scrotum is located outside the body. The anus can split in half like a paper towel. Yes, this can happen if 3 raccoons get in there. In short, 2 raccoons is the maximum, and a Jolly Rancher candy. There is a procedure in which doctors press on the head of the penis by thrusting 1 finger into the anus. If the anal sphincter tries to close when pressing the head, it means that the body's reflexes are still working. Sometimes this method is used to check if a person's back has been damaged by an accident. The deadliest fact I know. Usually, when a kidney is transplanted, the old kidneys are not removed from the body. After the transplant, they remain inside. There is a person in the Netherlands who holds the world record for the number of kidneys in the body. At the moment, he has 7 of them. It's not exactly a powerful fact, but still. It's not just the hair on your head that is sitting down. I do not know why, but I never imagined that this would happen to me. I'm 30 years old, and I didn't think about the fact that my pubic hair would also sit. This fact hit me harder than it should have. Human gastric juice is so powerful that it can corrode most metals. However, we ourselves are protected from it by the mucus covering the intestines. Well, speak for yourself. For example, I digest myself slowly every day. I'm delicious. I'm sorry, but what kind of disease is this? Crohn's disease? The mucous membrane of my digestive tract thins and wears off into spots that get bigger and deeper over time. And eventually, if left untreated, holes form in my gastrointestinal tract. In general, my body is like an endless story that is slowly swallowed up by nothing. Does this mean that I need a new name? About 57% of all missed working days in the UK are caused by depression, anxiety, or stress of workers. The absence of a person in the workplace for the same reasons costs employers £2.4 billion per year. In the United States, 83% of workers suffer from work-related stress, costing American businesses $300 billion a year in lost productivity. Among the most frequently cited causes of this problem are a toxic workplace environment, too intense workload, lack of support, low growth potential, low wages. Employers do not take into account the work-home balance of employees. A lot of guys are twitching in toilet cubicles at work in the office. I worked for an indoor cleaning company, and there was a problem in one of the buildings we were cleaning. The partitions between the booths were covered with snot all the time. The female manager told us about this problem, noting that it was only in the men's toilets. It wasn't snot. There are many very good articles on this topic. Obsessive thoughts are absolutely normal. They don't happen to everyone. Obsessions that cause attention disorders and stress may be related to OCD, but the thoughts themselves are normal. Most of these thoughts seem to arise from the fact that the part of the brain responsible for security and decision-making is, in fact, testing itself. But these tests are so fast that it may seem that your brain wants to perform one action or another. For example, the thought, "I can jump in front of a train now when it pulls up to the station" is absolutely normal. It is not a sign of a desire to commit suicide. It's just that your brain is sorting through different options when faced with potential danger. It seems that such processes seem illogical, but if your brain had developed differently, and you could not imagine your terrible death on the rails, you would be in greater danger if you just walked around the platform absent-mindedly. Stress associated with obsessive thoughts is especially common among young parents. However, it is often very difficult for people to talk about this openly because they are afraid of being judged by others. People constantly imagine how they can harm their child and think that because of this, they are monsters, if they are even able to think about it. But in reality, it's just the brain sorting out potential dangers and imagining how they can be realized most quickly. That is, if you do this or that action right now, yes, it feels terrible, but it's just a brain signal. Attention, danger, think about what you're doing. And this signal occurs at such a speed that it seems to a person that it is an urge to action. Guys, please, if you are worried about thoughts that arise in your head, read the articles about obsessive thoughts and strategies to overcome them. If this causes you severe stress and you are suffering, then a doctor or a psychotherapist can help you. You may probably have OCD or something similar. Subscribe to our channel and watch our other videos. Write in the comments, which story do you remember the most?